Recently, about 2 weeks ago, they started now campaigning in the media that we are land grabbers. I personally have been called a land grabber. So I've been wondering, this title was issued in 1922. So is this when I grabbed the land? In other words, I grabbed that land. Then I was born in 1963. I still an experienced land grabber. I mean, I am confused. When did I actually grab this land? In 2010, ideally that name should change because it is not. There are no provinces. At the same time, there was a lot of pressure from the politicians that time. I gathered to actually take over the whole hospital because of the annoyance people had against the whites who were using who were previous colonizers, and therefore they wanted to take the whole hospital to protect the small remaining part that the whites were using. They decided to incorporate the provincial commissioner and the PMO, the provincial medical officer of health, to be a member in the board without portfolio. And at that time, and all along, War Memorial has not been a trust. All along, and I have the memorandum of association, all along, War Memorial has been a company limited by guarantee, where the directors like me do not earn anything. We are like a board of management for a secondary school. We don't earn any income, but we are passionate about the whole service provision, medical service provision. And so we work very hard, despite the threats I'm getting currently. I've been threatened, my life has been threatened, but I continue working very hard with passion, although I'm gaining nothing, it's not my land. And so when they incorporated the provincial commissioner and the provincial medical officer, the idea was to politically protect the remaining part. That was the whole idea. And since they were not earning anything, obviously they stopped coming for any meetings. The PC would not have time to come where he is not earning anything. And so it reached a point where even legally, it became clear they are no longer members because they are not attending meetings. But by 2010, the new constitution was very clear there are no provinces. So automatically, unlike what we are being told that we kicked them out, the PC and the PMO, automatically they were kicked out by the constitution because now there are no provinces, so you can't have a provincial commissioner. So that position does not exist. So he cannot be. A non-existent position cannot be a member, a non-existent person. And so automatically they stopped being members of the board. Okay? Remember, they were also not attending meetings. So obviously they had ceased naturally not to be members of the board. Okay, then so fast forward then, after we now, having considered that background, and we had these difficulties getting the new lease, and we finally went to Nairobi and got our new lease. We are quiet now, and then the new government comes in, and they are threatening us. First challenge we had, of course, even in the previous government, is a bit of a challenge because we've had a road that feeds into a government road that feeds into War Memorial Hospital. Most of the residents in Nakuru know for over 20 years it had potholes, very serious potholes. Ambulances were coming there, patients who were very sick, and you could see those potholes and they were so bad, very uncomfortable to patients. And therefore I personally thought it was so unfair, and I decided to move the board, and the board agreed that we need to repair that road, although it belongs to the government. So in the previous government under Lee Kenyajui, His Excellency Lee Kenyajui, they promised they are going to give us permission to repair the road. But I'm telling you, what we went through was another serious challenge, because we are asking to be given permission, and the people on the ground in the county are just making it difficult for us to even spend our money to repair the road. First bill we were given, after going through all the process, we were told we will need to part with 12 million for a road that is about 100 meters. That if you want to be allowed to repair this road, you must cost 12 million. And we asked ourselves, why are we being given such a big bill? We negotiated, it took quite a bit of time, that time we were still waiting for our lease, and finally when we got the lease, we even negotiated further. Then later it was reduced after approval by the county government, because they had to approve, the county government. It was reduced to about 4 million. We still felt it was too much. Personally, I got a contractor who promised to get approval, and is going to construct with 2 million. And that is how we have now constructed that portion. Where they have put the gate, the government has put the gate. We are the one who constructed. We put all the cable. It is a smooth road, although they complained they wanted a higher standard, and we said, okay, it's your road. We're not blocking you from improving the standard. Continue. Of course, they have not done anything other than constructing the gate. And so ultimately, we started now, recently, we started getting information that they want to close the whole hospital. And so that was the time when I personally called some of the senior officials in the county government. This year, I called them and I told them, I don't think it is good for you to continue harassing us. You're asking, we have to have a burning furnace to burn the trash that we are burning in the open. Yet we had constructed our own burning furnace, which is being used by Annex, and they are blocking us from using it. And so we decided, okay, we have the title, so we can apply. We have a planned construction, and then we get approval from the same government, and we got approval for construction on another burning furnace, which was to cost us about 800,000. Still quite a bit of money. Then we started construction, and we got a written order from the same government, stop constructing. So we asked, why? And you have approved it. And they said, you don't have a title for this land. So then when we realized now we are going back and forth, we are being threatened with closure, that is when one day in the evening, I just called one of the senior officials, and I explained we actually have a lease, and it has been extended to 50 years. And that is when they panicked. When they panicked, now we started hearing, you people, munajifanya wherever, you are acting very smart, we are going to take all of it. This time, we are not even going to separate you, we are going to take all of it. We had those two issues. So we waited to see what was going to happen. And then just recently, about 2 weeks ago, they started now campaigning in the media that we are land grabbers. I personally have been called a land grabber. So I've been wondering, this title was issued in 1922. So is this when I grabbed the land? In other words, I grabbed that land. Then I was born in 1963. I still an experienced land grabber. I mean, I am confused. When did I actually grab this land? Okay, yet I have the original. We know we have the original lease, and it is supposed to expire after 50 years. So then we decided, now that we are getting on in the media that we are being called land grabbers, we have a right of reply. And so we called the press. I personally talked to the press, and I told them, no, we are not land grabbers. We own the whole of this land. This is a Dawo Memorial Hospital, and there is also the other question of, is it limited or is it a trust? Let's first of all explain, what is a trust? You can form a trust. If you form a trust or foundation to take care of whatever issues you want to take care of, it doesn't become government property. No, even if it was a trust. My understanding, and I've looked at all the records, War Memorial Hospital has always been a company limited by guarantee. And that is why when we were getting the title, the current title, we insisted on that being reflected in the title. That it says Nakuru War Memorial Hospital Limited. So that there is no, because we knew there would be a lot of arguments. So there is no argument, it is this one which has been there. Memorandum of association shows clearly it is a company limited by guarantee. It has never been a trust, and even if it was, that does not make it public. Why? It's a simple reasoning. Even them, when they are writing those statements, they should be able to read their own statement. Article 64 of the Constitution says clearly, how do you know that land is private? One, it has a freehold title. That's private land. Two, it has a leasehold title. That land is private. Three, by an act of parliament, there is a declaration that this land is private. Those are the three conditions for you to know that land is private. So the county government cannot say in one sentence that Nakuru War Memorial Hospital has been having a lease for 99 years, and then go ahead to say it was public land. It doesn't make sense.